What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So a lot of you guys have been asking me for a combo video and deck profile for Fire King at the current moment. So with the structure deck, but before Phantom Nightmare, before we get the new insane Link 3 monster, as well as the Snake Eye Populace, which is going to be making this deck insane. Definitely going to make it on the same level as Unchained and Rescue Ace. But at the current moment, the deck is definitely less good. Let's be honest, it's probably on the same level I want to see as decks like Centurion and Dragon Link. So it's still good, but it's not like insane. This deck is going to be able to like maybe win regionals, maybe top YCSs, but definitely not win a YCS. That's literally impossible. But all that is going to be changing once we get the new support, of course. So this deck is a very good long-term investment, and understanding how the deck functions right now can give you a massive advantage. So that you're already really good with the deck when the deck becomes broken in February. So yeah, I will show you guys like 5 combos with this deck as well as the deck profile. But before this video starts, you already know the drill. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. If we can actually get there, I will be making a live stream on this deck. And you know what? I'll actually bring this to the next locals. But yeah, anyways, now let's get into combo number 1. So there are a lot of ways to get your engine started, even if there's no like Snake Eye engine yet. Nadir Servant also is a way to get your stuff going. So you can send the Garura, which is a winged beast. So you draw 1 card and you search for the Maximus and then banish it. And then you're going to be sending the Sharig, the Ominous Omen, and any other monster. Sharig is going to be searching for the Ponix, because you do have 1 winged beast in your banished, so you can search a level 1 winged beast, and then Ponix is kind of like your 1-card combo in a way. The only problem is that you don't have access to your extra deck, so you're gonna have to play a little differently. It looks like you're doing a lot, but honestly, at the end of the day, all you're really doing is 1 interruption, because whenever your opponent summons a monster, you get to blow the whole board up, which is... I mean, it's fine, but it's not insane, and I guess you're drawing a card. To be completely honest with you guys, I really don't recommend playing the Nadir Servant package, but if you ever hear of people saying, oh, they want to consider the Dogmatika engine in the deck, then at least you know that this is what they were trying to achieve. So yeah, on whenever your opponent summons a monster, then you get to make the Garunix and then destroy everything. So yeah, that's pretty much all you can really do. But if there was a way for you to get the Garunix, the other Garunix in the graveyard, then you're gonna have 2 interruptions, because when you destroy the Ponix with the Kirin in hand, you revive back the Garunix, you destroy Kirin, and then you destroy a card, you revive back a monster, and then you make the Xyz Garunix, and then blow everything up again. So it's going to be a pop with the Kirin, and a reactive Dark Hole with the Garunix Xyz. So yeah, that's it for combo number 1. Very simple, and very underwhelming and mediocre. Now let's get into combo number 2. So this is quite literally the same thing, just to show you that 1 single Ponix does exactly what I just talked about, but this time I'm going to actually show you an example of where getting the Garunix in the graveyard is what really helps you out, because the Garunix actually would rather be in the graveyard than be on your field when you pass turn. If you play cards like Enemy Controller and Forbidden Droplet, you can actually achieve that a little easier. So now the Forbidden Droplet is getting the Garunix in the grave, which means that when we go Kirin, we destroy the Ponix, and then we revive back the Garunix so that we can use the effect again. We can't just destroy the Garunix with a Kirin and then revive back the Garunix. It doesn't work like that. The Garunix already has to be in your hand or graveyard when the monster is destroyed. So yeah, anyways, now you get to destroy a card, like I said, with the effect of Kirin, and then your opponent special summons a monster. You can just Xyz into the Garunix Xyz, and then blow everything up, so you get... double interruption, and if you had like an enemy controller Forbidden Droplet, then that's gonna be your 3rd. Well, I mean, it's gonna happen before you get any other interruptions, but yeah, you get the point. And then your follow-up is also going to be lethal pretty much every single time. Destroying the Garunix Xyz is actually correct, because you get to revive back 2 Fire King monsters from your grave, so that's not too bad. And then you obviously can search a monster negate, so Nibiru is never something that you have to be afraid of. And either way, like, this deck can easily play in less than 5 summons. It's not a hardcore combo deck whatsoever, it's a mid-range deck. You can play a lot of hand traps as well, and play on the opponent's turn. So yeah, very simple combo yet again. Let's get into combo number 3. Okay, so from here on out, it becomes extremely interesting. And now what can you do if you have the Abelstar in any discard? Doesn't matter which one. So you're going to be setting the original Sinful Spell Snake Eye, and then special summon the Snake Eye Ash, even without Populace, you still want to play it. It doesn't do that much, but it's still not too bad. It still leads you to a bunch of interruptions, obviously. But yeah, now you're going to be getting the Ponix into Sanctuary, into the field spell. Always gotta do that. Don't search for the field spell right away, because this is like an extra interruption. It allows you to make the Xyz. But yeah, anyways, search for the Garunix, and then you're gonna be destroying the Barong. It's always the exact same thing every single time. And then the Snake Eye Ash is going to be getting rid of the Sanctuary to summon the Flamberge. And then you're going to be equipping, well, placing the Dia Bellstar in the Spell and Trap zone, and then link it off into a Sunlight Wolf, and then revive back 2 level 1 Fires from the grave, so the 2 ones that we have. So Excel as well, or Ash, and then Onyx, and then recycle back the Flamberge from the graveyard to the hand, link off it to Masquerena. And this is a really big board. It actually looks like it doesn't do much, but it's really good. It's because you're going to be able to make a lot of interruptions on your opponent's turn because you get to summon so many monsters. So the Masquerena can easily lead to like an Appaloosa for 4, actually. So yeah, now we can go Kirin, destroy the Flamberge that was in her hand because we recycled it back with Sunlight Wolf. And then the Flamberge is going to be revived back to 2 monsters. And the Garunix is going to be reviving itself back. So you are going to be able to trigger the Garunix and the Onyx and the Ash to search, and the Masquerena as well. So the Garunix can destroy the Kirin from the deck, and then the Ash can search the Onyx, and the Onyx can search the Immolation. And the Masquerena is going to be going into an Appaloosa for 4. And then, like I said, we're going to be getting 2 searches from our deck to our hand, and we're destroying the Kirin with the Garunix. Whenever Kirin is destroyed, we get to destroy a card on the field and revive back a Fire King monster from the hand or grave. Actually, it's the other way around. You have to summon the Fire King monster first and then destroy a card. But yeah, so Sunlight Wolf is also recycling back the Kirin, and then we revive back the Barong, and we destroy an opponent's card, and we have an Appaloosa for 4. So that leads to 5 interruptions with only 1 card, 1 Dia Bellstars, all of that, and 3 cards in hand. Very respectable, right? I mean, if you had like Wanted, you would have been able to, I mean, literally just have like 4 other cards, and because you have to discard a card. But yeah, it's just a 1.5 card combo because you need 1 card and a discard. So it actually does a lot. It's really impressive. So yeah, very nice combo. And again, this is what you can do before the support. So imagine after we get the new support. Alrighty, so now I am playing against 2 hand shops, right? My opponent has Ash, Infinite Impermanence, and Sword Soul Emergence. So in other words, I really have to make sure that I can put up a big board through those 2 hand shops because my opponent has a 1 card combo. That's gonna be pretty rough, but I can play through hand shops, no worries. So my Wanted is going to be getting the Dia Bellstar, and then I activate Tenki in order to search for the Arvata, and then normal summon the Arvata, and then go Dia Bellstar, get rid of the Tenki. The Tenki could have just been the Arvata, and then I just discard a card from my hand. This is just to show you the interaction between the Dia Bellstar and the Tenki, so don't go thinking that you need Tenki in order to do whatever I'm showing. Anyways, original Sinful Spell Snake Eye, get rid of the Dia Bellstar, and then it's gonna get met by an Ash, but then I can negate the Ash by using the effect of Arvata, and then the Imperm is going to be negating me, but I can dodge the Imperm by chaining the Kirin to destroy my own Arvata. My Arvata does resolve in order to negate the Ash, so that the original Sinful Spell Snake Eye does resolve to summon the Onyx. And then the Kirin is going to be destroyed by the Arvata because it goes negate, and then you have to destroy a Fire King monster in your hand or field. And there's pretty much nothing else, so the Kirin is gonna die, which is a good thing because it's a monster reborn. So we can go Chainlink 1, Onyx, Chainlink 2, the Kirin, and Chainlink 3, the Arvata to revive back a Fire King monster from the graveyard and negate the effect. So we're going to be reviving back the Kirin with the effect negated, and then it has to die on the end phase. This is again off of the Arvata. And then the revival back of Arvata is going to be off of the Kirin. And then the Onyx is going to be searching for the Sanctuary of the Fire Kings. And that's going to be getting us the Fire King Island. And then we're going to be getting a draw and then destroy the Onyx in order to search the Garunix. And then special summon that and then destroy the Barong. It's always, again, the same monster that you're trying to destroy. And then link off for a Masquerena, so we've got a really nice board with very little. And then on our opponent's standby phase, we get to recycle back 2 cards, and we also have a draw. We did all of that through 2 hand shops, man. Hand shops do nothing against this deck. This deck is extremely resilient, and even though our opponent had the 1 card combo and 2 hand shops, it's not going to be doing anything. The Arvata could negate the Moye, and then even if our opponent has another extender, we can go, okay, summon something, and then go Masquerena to SP. We can float a lot, we can destroy cards with a Kirin, and then the Arvata can also summon back a monster, which in this case will be the Kirin. The Garunix is also going to revive itself back, and since a fire monster was destroyed, we can also summon the Onyx, and then search our deck for a spell or trap card, Fire King. And just like that, the Masquerena can also go into an Appaloosa for 4. So that is actually wild. It's so many interruptions through hand traps as if it just did nothing at all. Alrighty, so now I am going first. My opponent has Droll, Infinite Impermanence, Centurion, Trudea, Nibiru, as well as the field spell, which is good, but again, this deck doesn't lose to Nibiru. And this deck should not lose to Droll and Logbird if your first search is the Garunix off of the Fire King Island, because you don't really search any other cards in this deck, honestly. But yeah, your Fire King Island will be destroying the Barong to search the Arvata, and then you go for the Garunix because, I mean, we already had the Garunix in our hand. We're getting Drolled here, which is no problem whatsoever. I'm fine with that. Garunix triggers to destroy the Bonix, and then normal summon the Arvata. Kirin effect, destroy the Garunix, and then trigger the Hanuman in hand, so that's 4 summons. Nibiru is useless here. Barong will be searching for the Kirin, and then Bonix will recycle itself back. And then our opponent is going to double Imprimus, so get rid of the Spell Trap negate and get rid of the Monster negate, because the Centurion deck doesn't really have a super high ceiling. And also, since you're never really going into your extra deck too much, you're never turning on your opponent's Typhon, so that's also very relevant. Anyways, my opponent summons a monster, so I have to go Kirin, destroy the Hanuman. And that is going to be relevant because the Garunix is going to revive itself back, destroy the Kirin from the field, and then special summon the Bonix from the hand, and trigger the Kirin to revive back the Hanuman, and destroy that Shudea with the effect of Kirin, and the Bonix is going to be searching. Our opponent is going to go stand up Centurion, use the effect Hanuman, negate, get rid of the Arvata, Arvata revive back the Barong, and then you can already see where this is going. It dies on the end phase. Next standby phase, we search for the Barong, and then this is way more than enough for game. It's going to be absolutely disgusting. Hand traps do nothing against this deck. This deck is a very, honestly, very consistent, very resilient deck. It just kind of lacks the power against certain decks, like Unchained, for example, because all of your interruptions are going to be like destruction things, or Appaloosa, which is maybe not good enough. But against decks like Centurion, I mean, you're just gonna wipe the floor with them. And against some other mid-range decks, you are playing the deck that floats the most, which is a very good thing. Fire King definitely has a lot going for it. Alrighty, now for the deck profile, I, of course, tried to make it simple for you guys, but I am playing 12 hand traps, so 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, 3 Valor, 3 Imperm. Really depends on your environment and also the metagame overall, what people are choosing to play. For example, in my locals, Nibiru would be really bad because everybody's playing like decks like Purely or Centurion and stuff like that. It's not a really good hand trap, so Ash, Valor, and Imperm are always good, depending, regardless of the decks you're facing. And then Nibiru is a flex spot. It could be Book of Moon, could be Droll, could be just a little bit of everything. But yeah, even Droll would be bad in my locals. But Nibiru definitely does fix this deck's problem in a way, because if you draw it with another hand trap, it's not too bad. And it does at least make the Unchained matchup a little less garbage, because without these hand traps, the Unchained matchup is unwinnable just with your engine. Like I said, you are starting with a big disadvantage. They float much better than you do, and yeah, their end board is unbreakable, whereas your end board is breakable. That is my issue. But again, you are playing a very consistent deck, so you can see a lot of starters here. 3 Diabellstar, 3 Wanted, also 2 Sanctuary, 2 Fire King Island, 2 Ponix. So if you draw like any of these cards, you have a 1-card combo, in a way, kind of. And there are also like other ways of play the game, even when you don't necessarily have that. And also, obviously, Prosperity to get your stuff going. Snake Eye Ash is not necessarily a card that you're trying to draw, because even though you get to search the Ponix, you would have had used your normal summon on the Ash, so that's not really ideal. But it's not too bad if you actually draw things like Kirin, for example, because now you're searching the Ponix and then you're destroying it with a Kirin, and then at least you're getting the recycle back with a Ponix, and then the Ash can turn itself into like the Flamberge, and when you link it off, you revive back 2 monsters, revive back the Ponix, and then you're still searching for your Sanctuary, so it's really not too bad. But yeah, anyways, 3 Kirin, speaking of the devil, it's insane. One of the best cards in the deck. Probably the reason why this deck works, because it has like one of the best effects when it's destroyed. And the Garunix is also another reason why this deck works, because a lot of Fire King monsters are actually really bad. Hanuman, even though I showcased it, I don't recommend playing it. There is an illegal move that people will definitely try to do in the deck, consisting of summoning the Garunix and the Hanuman in the same chain link. You can never do that. The reason for that is because both of them are trigger effects to summon themselves from the hand as a potential location, and there is a rule that was created because of Green Baboon that prevents you from doing that. So that's the reason why I'm not playing Hanuman. It's just because the only thing that would make it good is something that just doesn't work because of a specific arbitrary rule. So it really does suck. Otherwise, the card would be decent, but no, it's not. But yeah, 2 Ponix, you're not trying to draw too many of that, and then 2 Garunix. If you're only playing 1, it gets DD Crowed, you lose. But then 3 might be a little too much. You can mess around with 3, but I don't know, it might just lead to inconsistencies. And then one Ash, of course, one Flamberge. You're not trying to draw any of these cards, but the Flamberge is actually not too bad depending on if you have access to the second Ponix or the Ash. I mean, probably not, because you're trying to summon the Flamberge from the deck with the Ash. You're not trying to draw it, but still, sometimes it can work out. And then 2 Barong in this version at 2 Arvata. Barong is another card that is very similar to Garunix, as in if it gets DD Crowed, you're kind of late behind, but it's usually not too bad. And it actually is one of the better cards to play in this. I actually really like Barong, honestly. It's really cool, but it's not going to be as necessary once we get the new support. Like, 1 will be way more than enough. Same thing with Arvata, honestly. And then 1 Immolation. It's just a card that allows you to destroy a bunch of cards your opponent controls. So I am a big fan. And then obviously the 2 field spells and the 2 continuous spells, as well as the 3 prosperity. So you have 40 card deck list. And for the extra deck, 1 Typhon, 1 of the Garunic 6Cs, and then the Girsu, which literally never comes up, so I don't even know why this is here. The Super Poly targets, but I mean, is Super Poly like really that good? It's up to you to decide, but you can live without Super Poly, honestly. And then Underworld Goddess, Access Code, Appaloosa, Hita, Sunlight Wolf is insane, oh my god, it's so good. It makes Ash like even more broken. I don't think there's any good fire hand trap out there, though. I mean, I guess Kirin is technically a hand trap. It has a quick effect on the main phase, like both main phases. But yeah, anyways, SP, you can play 2 if you want to. I mean, if you cut the Super Poly cards, like, you're gonna have so much more space. And also, same thing with Dingirsu. Masquerina, Linkuriboh, and Relinquished Anima. And for the side deck, Solemn Judgment, if you want to go first. Again, if we are going to be getting the new... I mean... When we're going to be getting the new Snake Eye cards, the summon limit is going to be insane because you can turn off your own summon limit with the Snake Eyes. So that's really disgusting. And then Jewel and Logbird, obviously. It's just a necessity for a bunch of combo decks out there. Super Volley, Spellbound for Centurion and Purely. And some other decks that might want to play on your turn, like Flundereese, for example. They're not going to be able to be attributed. Cosmic Cyclone for a bunch of decks, including the Mirror Match, actually. The goal is to Cosmic Cyclone the Far King Island so that it gets banished and then every monster on the field dies. And then your opponent's Masquerina will not really be able to do anything. Because even if your opponent makes an undestructible by card effect Appaloosa, it's only by the opponent's card effects. So it will die to, like, your own Far King Island, which is funny. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about Far King in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.